Welcome back to Doing Bart Things, and in this episode, finally got things sort of squared away. Still got some spare parts kind of lingering around that we're probably going to post online and get rid of. But we kind of got our area a little bit more situated today. Things are starting to look up from that standpoint. Still incredibly busy. But I really want to make a video and just kind of go through sort of the state of things today. If you are looking to build a gaming setup, video cards, as it seems to be just the case period, are going to be a problem. There's just some crazy stuff going on with NVIDIA's video cards. So first off, you can't buy anything. Let me just get that out of the way. If you do want to buy something though, if you're looking at the ultra high-end 5090, man, good luck to you. Here's the deal. In Europe, just as an example, okay, so these are the ones that don't work right, all right? These 5090s are missing ROPs. They're missing, like, the CPUs inside, or the processors inside of them. They were unintendedly, supposedly, shipped as the real deal, the full McCoy, but they are missing... they're only 168 ROPs are enabled. I think that's 10 down, 8 down, something like that. If memory serves, it's 176. Okay, so it's 8 down. All right, that puts it, and the other video cards below the 5090, some of them have the same problem. There's some 5080s out there running with 104 instead of 112. There's 5070 Ti's running with 88 instead of 96. So it's the 8. Like, there's 8 that are unintentionally disabled or whatnot. You can't, from my understanding, do any sort of software hacks or tricks or anything, firmware update to enable those. They're disabled. So not great that you're not getting what you're paying for. This side is like, well, we'll mark them down, note, to $28.99. Oh my God. This world is a crazy place. So anyway, if you're in Germany and you're looking for getting your hands on a 5090 that's not quite a 5090, there you go. They're going to have them out there for sale. Awesome. Speaking of 5090s, I saw this. I was actually at Micro Center a while back getting a couple miscellaneous things, and I picked up my 9070 XT. Got it for the MSRP, by the way, which, happy about that. The 5090 was on sale for $37.19. This is the AIO version. Oh my gosh. Guys, it's not worth it. I'll just leave it at that. It's not worth it. I'm sorry. That's an entire computer budget. Now, I know there are people out there who've got the money and they're going to go and do this. And that's fine, right? But, I mean, no, just negative. Not going to do it. Wouldn't be prudent. And if you do this, you're kind of playing into NVIDIA's hands of, well, we're just going to continue to do this, right? NVIDIA needs to be taught a lesson. Their hardware is not that expensive. This is like, the markup is unbelievable. It's just, no. So, it's $30,000. I mean, this is almost, what would it be? Yeah, it's getting close to double MSRP. 100% markup or something. Near. 2,000 was the MSRP of the regular 5090. Yeah. So, no, just, I wouldn't do it. Um, but it's not impossible to go and get your hands on one. If you're just someone who has the money and you got to have it, then I mean, all right, but it's who cares? In my opinion, this is no. Um, to give you an idea of how ridiculous pricing is, I can go on Newegg right now and look up the 5070, which is supposed to MSRP for $550. You can get one for $739 or $699. Just no, no. This card is not worth that. It's not worth it. No, absolutely not. Um, NVIDIA is crazy. This is a 12 gigabyte card. This is a mid-range, decidedly mid-range card. It was supposed to be on sale for $549. If you have a cool custom cooler and maybe something you've customized the card with as a manufacturer, I could see a $600 price point, maybe. $599, not $699. Forget it. Not going to do it. As a result of all this just nonsense, and it's just been nonsense more and more and more from NVIDIA, between supply, between pricing, between these like literal cards just not even being up to spec, 5090 blown up plugs just like the 4090 did apparently, and NVIDIA just not caring. I mean, I'm not buying it. Like the 5000 series is DOA in my opinion. If someone came to me and said, "Hey, I want to build a system," I'd be like, "Okay, cool. We can build a system." If they specifically told me they wanted the fastest of the fastest, price is no object, I would double check that they were sure, and then I would basically say, "You do realize that you're going to have to pay $3,000 just for the video card, right? So this is now turned into a $5,000 computer at least." And if they're okay with that, and then I described all the other descriptors of, like when we buy one, there may be some shenanigans with the actual cores. The plug may blow up. It's going to be hard to get, like all of those things. Or do you want to go the AMD route, which is cheaper by a significant margin? Maybe we have a shot at actually getting our hands on one locally. Maybe not. But I'll explain that here in a minute. It's just, you're going to overpay, right? Like you're going to massively overpay. We're going to have to go and find it. Like it's going to be a big deal to pull this off. If they told me I just want a gaming machine that does really well with 1440p, does some 4K, and I'm looking to kind of maintain something that resembles a budget, then I would immediately just go AMD. Not even over or under 1,000 or anything like that. I would just be like, "Do you have a budget? Okay, well then let's look at this." Like that's pretty much where we're at. Now the hard part is, as you can see here, all these are out of stock. These are the 9070 XTs. You have to, I think, try to hope to get one locally at like a micro center or something, or kind of watch around. I really, this is why I don't think it's a great time to build right now. I think AMD needs to up their supply, which they're trying to do, as I understand it, or I've heard, is they are trying to up that supply because NVIDIA is just not going to supply it. Like NVIDIA doesn't care, okay? The AI bubble has not popped apparently, and that's what NVIDIA is chasing. This is such an opportunity for AMD. They can swoop in here, make so many sales, because they do have the hype around these 9070s. They're decent cards. They're a little bit pricier than I would have liked, and the $599 for a 9070 XT is appropriate-ish. It's fine. like if you can get it for that, then it's a really competitive offering. At these custom designs, like I would not pay 730 for this gigabyte design. Sorry. 669 is really pushing it for the ASRock custom design. 759 for the Aorus. That's a little bit more like it. What's weird is it's 30 more bucks than the gigabyte reference kind of looking design almost. So that's kind of weird. 759 for that, the power color. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not paying 859 for the Nitro, even though that's an awesome card. Not going to pay 719 for the Prime. I got my Prime for retail, $599. That's what I would look at this card for. So there's going to be a lot of balancing of, price versus effect, and the XT is the card to have probably. If we look at the 9070, which probably also sold out, they're not really much better in price. There's no real reason to buy this over the 9070 XT for price, and the 9070 XT is a significantly better performer than the 9070 base. So that's kind of where you're at. There's not really an easy way to get a hold of any of these GPUs, so that kind of sucks, right? This is why it's not a good time to buy. I'd give it another month and look for your AMD GPU. Hopefully some more shipments will arrive. Make buddies with your local micro center. Maybe walk in there once in a while. It just sucks. Like this it's a tough thing. Maybe even consider, God, I hate this. I really hate to suggest this. Maybe consider if you're building brand new, you don't have anything left over. Like I had a 3080, which I'm gonna sell now. Look for that. Go find somebody's maybe used GPU to just use temporarily while you wait for these stocks to come in, and then go snipe your card and then swap it out. Like I hate suggesting stuff like that, but here we are. Like I think we're just at that point where stuff's kind of hard to get a hold of. This will, I think, equalize out, and prices will fall a little bit on the AMD parts when supply starts to come in, and I think AMD is gonna just kill it. Like they're just gonna get some market share back. This is the moment they should have been waiting for, and now they should just go for it. Because why not take over the consumer market if Nvidia is gonna neglect it? Sneak right in there. I'll take everybody's money. That's what I would say. They're still not. They're still, I guess, behind, quote unquote, with AI, and they should still chase that. They should not miss this opportunity, though. They should not. That's just my opinion. They should swoop in and get advantage of it, because this card is a decent performer, and they can sell it for a decent price and make a decent profit. So this is where they should, put some effort. Tell TSMC to spin them up, and start shipping them out, because the demand is high, and I think they'll sell a lot of cards. Nvidia is just such a mess right now, with the supply, the pricing. I mean, shipping cards that aren't up to spec, cards blowing up. Yeah. No. So, lastly, for today, what would you build around to support your video card? Because maybe you're looking at, what could you put together? Maybe use that video card from the last build to suffice you until you get your hands on your 9070 or whatever, right? I kind of put this together. Now, the price of this is about $1,500. This is without video card, right? So if you build this exact setup, you're looking at $1,553. You're going to spend about 20 $200, I would say. This is probably the most expensive. Well, not the most expensive. This is about as expensive as you need to go. There's some things here you don't really even need to go that crazy on, like the G Skill Royals. Man, I love the Royals though. I got some Royals in my case, and they are awesome. But also they're CL28, so I like that too. Um, you don't really need to go this hard. I really like the MSI Mag 868 X870 Tomahawk because if you look at the rear I/O, it actually has a decent amount of ports, and you get 3 USB-C connectors, which I think is nice. So I think it's pretty decent for what it is. But you could go down the memory. You could back off the CPU, right? So you could get like a, let's see, well, you get a 7800 X3D for one. You could get a 9700 X, which would be considerably cheaper, let's say. That backs you off to about $1,300. You don't need 1,000 watts necessarily at all. You could go with a, honestly, for your 8070, 850 watts ought to be plenty. So you could go like, let's see, something like, where's Seasonic on here? Let's choose a Seasonic because, man, when in doubt, Seasonic it out. That's what I say. Well, if I can pick a brand. Can I pick a brand? Here we go. Okay. You guys get to see an old man just fumble around with this. That's great. I'm sure that's what you wanted to do today. Here we go. Vertex 850, right? Doesn't save you a ton of money, but this is a really good power supply. And now we can back that off to about $1,338. Get some less expensive memory. Maybe go 32 gigs if you wanted. This is a pretty good rough price on the 2 terabyte NVMe. You could back that off about another $30. So if you really wanted to, you could get this down to around $1,200 and get the entire system cost under $2,000. Like, you could do that for sure. The case is an $80 case. The Montec XR wood actually looked really cool. Looked very nice on the video. Like I think it was Matt Lee did a video, kind of showed it off. Sweet looking case. Not the easiest to work in. So there's kind of like my Fractal Design North. One thing that really irritates me is when, rather than on the front, you bolt the fan in. The front fans, you have to bolt them in from the rear. Kind of a pain in the butt. The good news for this case is it already comes with 4 fans. So really you're kind of good. You can just bolt your AIO up at the top or whatever you're using. In this case, for this build, it would have been your Montec 360, right? And you're good. Like, you've got 4, 6, 7, 8 fans like you're set, or 7 fans. I mean, that's enough. That's probably plenty. You could put one maybe on the PSU shroud if you wanted to, or on the side. It actually has fan ports on the side panel with some venting on the back panel. You could do that, but for $80, pretty solid design case, and you get a little bit of wood accent on the front. Another case for that money that is a good case, for example, is the Lee & Lee 207. I actually really like that case. I built a machine for my uncle in it, and that's another option as well. Also can fit a 360 mil AIO on the roof. You know, these $80 cases, some of them, I mean, the competition is really good. So I would anticipate that would not be a bad option. Yeah, so, I mean, if you want to get a really decent machine that's kind of future-proof a bit, which I would say your 9070 XT is, because it does have the 16 gigabytes of VRAM. So that's not going to be, hopefully, we're in real trouble if that gets saturated tomorrow, right? But hopefully that machine would sort of propel you, be a good platform off into the future. And the other thing we've heard is the AM5 socket is going to get supported by the next generation of Zen CPUs, which is supposed to be Zen 6. So supposedly, and again, things can change, but right as it sits today, that's what the plan is. It seems like going forward, which would be a nice upgrade. So if you want to go kind of minimalist on the CPU today, you know that like a year and a half, year, I want to say it's not this year, but kind of going towards middle of end of next year is when we're supposed to see Zen 6. It sounds like. Be cool if they could do it sooner. But yeah, there's probably an upgrade path when that happens without swapping out your motherboard. You could just put in that new CPU, right? So that would be good. Anyway, so that's it for today. That's kind of like my 2 cents right now at this exact moment. It's really hard to get a hold of a video card. I personally am kind of mailing it in on NVIDIA. Like, they just don't care. These prices are ridiculous for the level of performance this card offers. It should not be anything approaching $700. Like, it should be this. All of these, pretty much. Because the 9070 XT pretty much spanks that, right? The 9070 XT is really hard to get a hold of. Everybody's going to have to be patient. AMD will hopefully increase production. The key here is AMD is shipping cards. It's just they're not going to be able to supply this much of the market, right? Everybody who wants one of these is like, AMD was geared up to supply 20% of the market maybe, and then the other 80%, like typically buys NVIDIA. Now that other 80% is looking at NVIDIA like saying, screw you, and they want, a more affordable, decent card, and AMD just isn't geared up yet to provide that for them because that was not the plan. Nobody is. So they're going to have to increase production. I hope they do because they will absolutely get market share. It's probably already happening. And if you are building with a 9070 XT, I believe you're in it for about an $1,800 to maybe a $2,000, $2,200 build, which is kind of the sweet spot. That's sort of where your semi upper end builds should probably be priced anyway. You could get it cheaper, but that's kind of what I would, if I were going to do it from scratch, that's around where I would kind of plan to budget it, is something like that. I think it's totally doable. You'd have a really nice machine. And yeah, so I think that'd be pretty good. That should be kind of what your plan ought to be. Even if you're not going to use exactly these parts, there's definitely plenty of wiggle room to move cost around here or there. If you used a 9800X3D, for example, your price might go to more $2,200. If you used a 9950X3D or something along those lines, your price would probably go to $2,500, right? But that's for the whole computer. Unlike $3,700 just for the video card. That's insane. All right, guys. Well, I hope this video has been informative a little bit. Maybe gives you some ideas around, kind of monetarily what we're talking about here. And if you did get something out of it, please leave a like and subscribe. You can even comment. I'll try to respond. Hopefully, we try to make a few more videos. So that way I don't have another 25-minute ramble video like I'm having today. Anyway, guys, take care, and we'll see you in the next one.